This is youngest grandchild,
Oh, it is.
18,
Nice.
but pretty proud, good student, good girl, got a blessing too. Awesome.
Juniors tomorrow.
You can rotate motions if you want.
Yeah, whatever you want. What you mean in there?
Rachel said her voice was gone, so
Yeah, we'll just play, yeah.
In and out.
I don't mind saying that.
I think there should be 2 or 3 new policies what's first reading, so that's something.
Talking.
We're gonna cancel it in July.
I'll do the payroll. You want to do the payroll?
Let me use, you want to do payroll for, okay, I'll do the first one then.
I can
I'll do the first two and then
No,
you want to do the minutes
I
first?
can do. Doesn't matter. I'll do my best.
We can do it.
we're gonna do it, we'll do it.
We just talk, we'll rotate.
I'll do payroll warrant, you'll do the next one,
Yeah.
okay.
Anything for you, Rachel? Anything for you?
Oh,
You're not gonna go to that thing tonight, are you? Oh, geez. Okay. Well-
Because I'm here today.
I know we sat together last year and this year, my wife,
She's coming.
like, yeah, she's gonna come, so yeah, I said, geez.
She and I had a call. Of this constantly freeze, right?
But, okay, yeah, we'll just whoever says it first. We'll just-
What's that?
When we get into this, whatever we got to do, we'll just do it. Oh,
And that's just. Dan heard this before. You told me this last year too.
Nick's daughter, Quinn, was a couple games ago, Mary Lou, my wife and I were out in center field in our car. She got hit with a ball, batter hit the ball and went right and whacked her. We could hear it out in the car. I don't know how she played, she kept playing.
Tough.
Yeah. She worked it out. I told Nick, I said, I'd have been in tears. I mean, I don't care what happened. I mean,
I hit a line drive. As soon as I hit
Yeah.
it, I hit it in her.
and that would have broke her rib.
Right there.
No.
Walmart.
Lucky.
Game's over. Felt so bad. I stopped playing after that.
I will stand up.
Cause I was trying to hit it in the air, so they did as soon as I hit it, wham, wham. Yeah, no chance of it other way.
They stand for pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United
States of America.
and to the republic
For which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adjustments to the agenda,
None.
public comment. The school board endorses the concept of that community participation in the affairs of the schools is essential to improve the quality of education for its students. To be eligible to address the board, an individual should reside within the school unit, be an employee of the school unit, or be invited by the board or superintendent to speak. The board shall give due attention to comments and contributions from the audience, but shall not be expected to respond or take action immediately. Audience inquiries other than simple questions shall be referred to the superintendent, who shall investigate or consider the matter and report to the citizens and to the board. If the board action is indicated, then the item may be included in an agenda for the subsequent meeting. Comments will be heard for no longer than 3 minutes. Are there any public comments?
What's the rebel?
Right. Melissa, I have to run my.
Appreciate that.
Sorry about that.
Apologize at all. Appreciate that very much.
Okay.
I was just curious if there was a change in the time of scheduling for the high school, middle school next year.
Yes, there is, and the information will be out on Thursday.
Is it a policy change?
We haven't gotten that far.
So it's not permanent yet.
No,
Oh, okay, so it's just a discussion at this time.
yes.
Awesome, thank you.
Welcome. Any other comments from public?
I have a question.
Yes,
Kelly Gardner. I have two questions. I will piggyback on that one. So, if that becomes more than a discussion and it becomes a policy change, does that come to the school board?
Yes.
And then my other question is, in terms of trying to consider getting school board meeting changed to a different time, how would that go about in terms of coming to you guys and considering a time change so that more people could and public and parents could come to the meetings? I've done a bunch of research in terms of school board meetings across the state, and you guys seem to be the only ones at 4 p.m. So, and it's extremely difficult for parents who are working to come. The only reason why I'm out at 4 p.m. today is because I have a random schedule change, and I'm actually driving and had to pull over to be able to comment. But normally I work until 5 p.m. And so any other school board meetings I've attended, I've had to take time off from work to be able to attend. And when I've looked at other school board meetings across the state, they are at 5 is the earliest. 5:30 is actually also pretty early. 6, 6:30, and 7 are the typical meeting times across the state for most school board meetings. So I'm just wondering what the options are for discussing it and how to go about that.
well, I'll say tonight we're early because we are all going to the honors banquet after that, so we had to start a little early. But generally, no what, it's
4:30.
generally 4:30.
But normally it's 4:30. It's not much earlier.
Correct.
Right.
Right, thank you. Is there any other comments?
Is there a follow-up on your question? Like, will there be an email answer, or she had a question, she just asked how to go about it. So she's just
So
asking.
Millinocket, it has had 4:30, and for the last 4 years, we absolutely can take a look and it can be a board discussion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just wondering, like, if it, like, is there a way to go about, like, bringing it to, like, be an agenda item? I just don't know how to go about it. So I'm asking that question because I don't know how.
I'd say you brought it to the attention of the board, and we will take a look at it and have we'll make some more comment back after we have a chance to take a look at it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Seeing none? Approval of the minutes?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of the school board meeting, May 5th, 2026, barring any errors or omissions.
Second,
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? 4-0.
I'll do it.
Okay. Payroll warrants?
I'd like to make a motion to direct the superintendent of schools to authorize payment by the town treasurer to each party listed herein. The sum set against each name contained in the following school payroll warrant. May 21st, 2026, PR 26-24, $168,665.35. PR 26-24-1, $372.64. PR 26-24-2, $897.21. PR 26-24D, $88,209.56. PR 26-24D, $82.18. Main PERS 2634, $286.84. GLI April 2026, main PERS 2635, $286.84. GLI April 2026, main PERS 2636, $38,614.82. TC Mill April 2026, main PERS 2637, $10,815.64, PLD, April 2026. June 4th, 2026, PR 26-25, $150,806. PR 2625D, $82,983.93.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? All right. Payroll warrant?
I move to direct the superintendent of schools to authorize payment by the town treasurer to each party listed herein. The sum set against each name contained in the following school payable warrants. May 21st, 2026, AP 26-34, $26,511.40. AP 26-35, $78,720.25. SA 26-31, $17,961.98. Stearns Junior Senior High School student accounts. SA 26-32, $1,192.27. Stearns Junior Senior High School Katahdin Federal Credit Union Scholarship. SA 26-33, $1,001.89. GSS student accounts. June 4th, 2026, AP 26-36, $91,235.69. SA 26-34, $2,655. GSS student account. SA 26-35, $3,844.73. GSS student accounts. SA 26-36, $7,436.88. Stearns Junior Senior High School student accounts. And SA 26-37, $100. Stearns Junior Senior High School Katahdin Federal Credit Union Scholarship.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? None, all in favor? We're all. Presentation.
Yeah.
Extended learning opportunities, ELO presentation.
I have some papers, Margot Stevens, Extended Learning Opportunity Coordinator, so I'd just like to give you these so that you can kind of follow along as I'm going through this one. Helpful. Well, thank you for letting us come tonight and just give you a program overview of what we've been doing this year in the ELO program. I also have two students that have been gracious enough to come and do a presentation for you tonight. We'll try to keep this brief. I did just include here kind of our program overview. This is something that the board has seen before. So basically ELOs allow students to earn academic credit and through these diverse hands-on experiences outside of the conventional classroom. These experiences focus on real world and community-based exploration, which provide opportunities for students to build meaningful connections with local mentors and professionals. And so this year we had 6 students that took part in credit-bearing ELO experiences. So students can earn credit as they're also exploring careers and doing job shadowing, paid internships, paid work experiences. So we had a student that took part in a paid work experience at the Medway Fire Department. We have a wonderful partnership with Aaron Lee down there, the chief of the fire department down there. This was a great experience for this student, and it has led into him choosing to take a EMT class. And so he's really furthering his exploration in this career. We also have a student that you heard from earlier this year, Andrew, who is going to be entering the military. He is getting ready to go to his basic training here in a few weeks. And so he's been preparing for this all year. We've had some wonderful conversations, and he is ready to do so. So that's exciting. We have a student that's been working in the music department. She has been mentoring middle school students. And so we've had a wonderful mentor for her, Mr. McEwen. He's been really, really great working with her this year. We're super thankful about that. And she actually auditioned for and was accepted to the music education program at the University of Maine. So that's really excited. She was all smiles when she was telling me about that. So it was really a special moment. We have a student that has been working down to Katahdin Critters. And so through our partnership with Manpower, the main career exploration program, this has been a paid work experience for her. And she is actually right now prepping for an interview to have a part-time job there this summer. Through the ELO program, she was able to sort of explore what program she wanted to go into for college and has landed on York County Community College. So where she's looking forward to that. So that would be really exciting. The last two on the list here are the two students that will be talking to you in just a minute. So Elijah has been working down in the Stearns cafeteria as a kitchen assistant with Mia, and Mia has been an absolutely phenomenal mentor for Elijah this year. Super thankful for that. And I think that just through my conversations with Elijah, it's been a really great learning experience for him. And next year he's going to Region for the culinary program. So that's really awesome to have kind of this pathway that's leading into this career for him. So really exciting. Ghost is here to talk about Stearns Inc., the reinvigoration of Stearns Inc. So that's very exciting as well. And I will let Ghost elaborate on that for us. So this year we've done a number of group ELO experiences. So this is kind of like field trips for students, but really based on these career explorations. A lot of these are partnerships with other programs. So like the Police Cadet Academy, Officer Frank, he put on this program through the East Millinocket PD. And then we went to Lincoln, we toured DBI, which I have been by that sign so many times and never knew what it was, and now I know what it is. And so they fabricate stainless steel for food and beverage and also pharmaceutical. So we got to tour the facility. There were a number of students that attend the welding program at Region, which attended this. So it was really applicable for them, a great experience. We went up to New England Outdoor Center. We had a whole career day there. Some students that are interested in the outdoor recreation field, but also just to see what the careers are at New England Outdoor Center. So I think the highlight of the day for them was cooking pizza. They got to cook pizza at Knife Edge and then eat their pizza. So that was really cool. But they also got to see a number of other careers there, which was great. You'll notice on the list February vacation camp and also April vacation camp. So this is a program that is put on through KROC, which is Katahdin Region Outdoor Collective, sort of headed up now by Friends of Katahdin Woods and Waters. So the ELO program, what we did was to recruit middle school and high school ambassadors and leaders. So these were students that decided they wanted to take part in this opportunity and took the role of a leader at vacation camp. So really an exciting opportunity for them. They had to write a resume, they had to interview, just really great opportunity, and got to work with students in our area, grades 2nd through 5th on these really awesome outdoor experiences that they got to do. We had the Maine Motor Transport Association trailer here. You might have seen it out back. They were here for 3 days. So students were able to take part in a driving simulation, and they also heard about the trucking industry and all the wonderful opportunities that are in the trucking industry for them. But the truck driving simulation was the highlight of the event for them. And this was really cool because we also had 8th graders come to that. So every single 8th through 10th grader took part in this. And then the 11th and 12th graders were by sign up. And we actually had a lot of students in those grades sign up. So that was really fun. I gave it a try. I did okay. So it was interesting. First time I've ever, driven a big truck like that. So it was fun. Through Katahdin Higher Education Center, there were some students that took part in a wilderness first aid course. This was a free course for students. This is a nationally recognized certification. I have been through this course twice. It is not easy to get through it. It's a lot of information, but really a great certification for students that are interested in a field in outdoor recreation or anything in the backcountry, really. We went to Johnson Outdoors, which used to be called Old Town Canoe. I grew up in the Bangor Old Town area, so this is very familiar to me, but I never knew what they did in there. And we got to tour the whole manufacturing facility. We heard from employees that have been there for 20 or 30 years. So really a wonderful company. We got to hear from a number of individuals in different fields within Johnson Outdoors. So this was one of those trips where it was students from a number of different schools. So the students were able to see other students from other schools. So that was really kind of fun. That was special. through the outdoor education program. This is a partnership with the outdoor ed program and Anna Loom, which I'm sure that you all know. She's a wonderful high school outdoor education teacher. We went to Maine Bound. This was a really fun trip. The students were able to go into the pool and practice their kayaking skills. They learned how to roll a kayak. They learned how to do a tea rescue. Then we went over to the climbing wall and they got to, challenge their climbing skills. I did make it to the top twice. I'm proud to say that. It was really fun. It was a great day and the kids had a great time. We had our high school career fair here. I don't know if you guys got to go to that, but it was really a fun day. And the businesses and organizations that were there were really excited to talk to students. And I just had so many great conversations with so many people from different businesses and organizations that are excited to work with high school students. So that was super encouraging to hear. Down to Katahdin Higher Education Center, the Eastern Maine Community College had their mobile EMS simulation lab there, which was really interesting. So students that are interested in the medical field were excited to go down and take part in that. There were 2 students there from Eastern Maine Community College, and they just did a wonderful job at explaining the program at the college and how to get into the EMS field. And so that was a great day. And then we had our medical boot camp down to the University of Maine, Augusta at the Bangor campus. This was a whole new tour for me. I had never been on that campus before, but the students were able to sign up for these different sessions they were interested in different fields: nursing, vet tech, dental, behavioral, and mental health. And they did hands-on activities and got to hear from professionals and also the admissions counselors. So it was a wonderful day for students. And on our way back, I could hear them talking with each other about the day. So that was really cool just to hear that they really enjoyed themselves. So looking ahead to next year, right now, I have 7 students that are already enrolled in a credit-bearing ELO. And I do foresee after my last 2 days of talking with more students, I think those numbers are going to be even higher, which is great. And so a number of fields here. Again, another student partnering with Medway Fire Department. He's leaning more towards the EMS side rather than the firefighting side, but wants to gain skills in both of those areas, of course. We have 2 students, including one here tonight, who is interested in law enforcement that will be doing an ELO working on law enforcement experiential skills. So really gaining those skills to enter law enforcement and be ready for that. We have a student interested in sports management. So this is an exploration. So these ones that are exploration, sometimes these are students that are not quite sure what they want to do. We're going to give them a number of different experiences, job shadows, interviews with professionals, so that they can really learn the most that they can before they decide on what college program they want to go into. We have another student interested in animal care. A little different of an experience this time. She's leaning more towards the training and rescue part of animal care. So that will be a little bit different than Ava's experience at Katahdin Critters. Outdoor leadership, we actually have a high school senior who is going to be the middle school outdoor ed teacher assistant. So through this experience, she will be able to take on the role of teacher and really step up to that leadership role, with her career interest being in outdoor recreation, maybe game warden, maybe conservation. She's a little undecided at this point as well. So really exciting to work with her. And then we have another student who's interested in the medical field. I've been talking with Millinocket Hospital, specifically the PT department, to have her go up and do some job shadowing. So that will be really fun. I don't want to take too much more of your time on the back here. These are just some insights that I have seen since my time working in the ELO program and working with other ELO coordinators in our region, which has been really great. Really, ELOs actually create these individualized pathways. So it's kind of been this shift from what classes do you have to take to like, what are your interests and how can we best support that? So that's really exciting to see that happening. ELOs really, I have definitely seen students develop confidence and build their communication skills and their workplace readiness. How do they show up to work? How do they have that conversation with their employer? These are lifelong skills that we want them to learn in high school. So that has been really special. And these next 3 bullets here, these are all about ELOs they can really be for any student. It can be for the student that's like, I know I'm going to college. It can be for the student that wants to enter the workforce directly. And it can also be for students who might be struggling in a traditional classroom. Sometimes when you take those students and you put them in a hands-on environment, they thrive. And that is definitely what I've seen throughout my entire time teaching, and certainly in the ELO program. The ELO program intersects and partners with lots of other student support services. I see Miss Buzzle regularly. I also see Miss PV regularly, talk to other teachers. So there's really a lot of partnerships here. Jessie with the Gear Up program, she's been great. We've worked together a number of times just today, actually. The outdoor education program, other teachers, food services, the IT services. So it's really been great to have all of these kind of pieces of student supports kind of come together. I talked about the group ELOs. Those are really a great way for students to kind of explore in kind of a low pressure environment. They're not just going and getting that job. They're kind of able to go there sometimes with their friends and kind of check out, a workplace and just to see what it's all about, what those careers and industries are about, that sometimes they don't even know that it exists, that those exist in our area. So that's cool. And the last piece here that I'll say is just for any businesses or organizations or community partners that are interested in being a part of the ELO program. Really, I see this as mutually beneficial. I mean, students get to gain experience, but these programs can also, in these businesses, they could have a future employee there, right? But they could also, they are gaining visibility, they're gaining support. So it's really a win-win situation. And it can really start small. It could just be a tour that they might offer, maybe a guest speaker, maybe a job shadow. And sometimes one thing can lead into another thing. And so it really could start with just a small kind of commitment from these places. Like I mentioned, the main career exploration program, they have support from Manpower. So we are able to offer students 75 hours of a paid work experience that the business doesn't have to underwrite, which really takes the pressure off of them. We know how small businesses that monies can be tight, and so this really takes the pressure off of them and then provides that student with a paid work experience. So that's really, really wonderful. And yeah, so we just ask the businesses to really they're giving that authentic experience. They're really they're having that bar raised high for those expectations, and the students will meet those expectations is what I've seen. So the goal is not perfection, it's just exposure and things like that. So before I introduce our students here, that was a lot. And I tend to talk fast. And so if you have any questions, I'm happy to take those. I can do my best.
Do you find that the people that go through that this is a feeder program for the CTE down to Region 3?
Yeah, so I have seen that. Yes, absolutely. I've seen, because like Elijah, he is going to be going into the culinary program at Region 3. So I think that it's really they can work interchangeably. Sometimes you have a student that might have already done a Region 3 program, and then they sort of know yes, that's what I want to do. And so now I want to go and do this work experience, and they already have that experience. So, for a student to have those two pieces, they really become very employable, right? And that's the goal. We want them to be employable once they get out of high school. And so it's really been a great thing. And Region 3 is developing also their own sort of co-op ELO program down there. So I'm really happy to hear that and learn more about that and be able to partner in a number of ways next year too. So,
and one other thing is, where I used to work for EMBC, they have work experience for youth there. So I would have them partner up. Just give them a call down to K-Tech.
Yes,
And,
absolutely.
That's another 300 hours that they could possibly get. So
Yes, absolutely.
and most of all the kids here are eligible.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other?
Just want to
Questions?
piggyback on something he just
Oh.
said, just professionally, busy Sprout daycare locally. I had a student come in her sophomore year and join Region, her junior year, and she finished her senior year. So
Good.
the credits that they're coming out are more than I've earned. I mean, it's taken me 11 years to get some for the Region, 2 years. So
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
so great.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, speaking from experience, like when I went into college right after high school, I changed my major 5 times before I landed on education. And what did it was I needed a part-time job while I was in college. So I substituted at a middle school and I was like, this is cool. I can definitely do this. And that's where I was, like, okay, going into education, and then I got a job up here and I've been here ever since. So I mean, that work experience is what really really seals the deal, I feel like. So yeah, it's a special program. So yeah. Cool. Any other questions? Okay, all right, well, I'm gonna introduce our first student. Come on up, Elijah. Yes, yeah, I did, but
My name is Elijah Moore, and I'm a sophomore here at Stearns. And the ELO I've been doing since November is I'm the student kitchen assistant down in the cafeteria. And the responsibilities that I've been doing down there are prepping food, like marking inventory, putting away inventory, cleaning, and then serving food. Some skills I learned this year were food and kitchen safety, following directions from my supervisor, Mia, staying organized, and communicating with others. Part of my ELO is my bi-weekly check-ins with Miss Stevens and Miss Everett. And what we did is we reviewed my ELO goals, we talked about new skills I've learned, and we talked about any trouble I was having. And some of the future goals I have is to get a job during the summer and then go to Regency in culinary arts next year. And I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any. Nope.
good job. That's not easy to do, right? All right, and that's next up goes Caraba. Come on up.
Hello. Been to a few meetings before, but my name is Ghost Croco. Over the school year, I didn't do this specific ELO that I'm doing right now, which is Stearns Inc., so our school's newspaper. I didn't do it the whole year. I think I did it maybe half the year because my first quarter, I was just kind of interested in the ELO program and I wasn't really in it yet. But then second quarter, I actually started as a geometry tutor in Miss Personality's Block 2 Blue Day Block 2 geometry class, and realized it yeah, it wasn't working. Not that I didn't like helping the kids and everything, but it just wasn't for me, which is fine because I wanted to start up the school's newspaper as an after school activity instead. So I went to Mr. Cullen about it. He was like, he okayed it. I got Mr. Brown to be my teacher supervisor, which he's great. And then Miss Everett came up to me one day during a bi-weekly check-in that Elijah mentioned before, and was like, hey, I heard you wanted to start this thing. Why don't we do this together? And you can stop doing the geometry tutoring. And I was like, okay, I mean, that makes sense. A little less work.
So you thought.
So I thought. So for the past 2 quarters, I've been working on Stearns Inc. It's been great. I should probably actually use my papers that I wrote for this. That would be helpful. Oh. I'm put together, I swear.
It's been a busy week. You're seeing it.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even mention that. I am a senior graduating this year. So Stearns Inc. is a student-led newspaper that focuses on sharing school news, community events, and encouraging more students to get interested in writing. Because I know kind of in today's age, that's a little bit of a problem. Through the experience, I further developed my communication, teamwork, leadership, and problem-solving skills that I'll be able to use in the future. Journalism and English isn't really what I'm planning on doing in college, but that doesn't mean it can't be very helpful. I'm actually enrolled at UMaine in Orono for political science next year, and I'm hoping to further my career into law school. So, yeah. So during my ELO, I participated in the process of creating and contributing the school newspaper as the editor. My job was to oversee the entire life cycle of the paper's production, which includes brainstorming topics, managing and collaborating with other students, helping to make sure content is organized and ready to be published, and stepping in to write articles when I was needed to. I learned how much work goes into creating something like this. Miss Stevens mentioned that I kind of revived this thing, and that is true. In my sophomore year of high school, Laura Dwyer had a journalism class that I was in, and together, me, her, and one other student created Stearns Inc. But I wasn't the editor, I was just a writer. So wrote my stories, sent them to her, and that was all the work I had to do. But it was a little different this time. It was a lot more work. And one of the challenges I actually faced was balancing responsibilities and staying organized while working with very strict deadlines I set for myself. And oftentimes it was difficult to manage all these different tasks at once, especially while balancing my regular schoolwork as a senior and doing this on kind of my own time. Okay, this folder. But to solve this, I worked on improving my time management skills, and I learned how important responsibility and flexibility are when working on a big project like this. I did intentionally want to include middle school into this, which they are still welcome to work on this. But the middle schoolers that had agreed to come write for me changed their mind. So you will, if you have seen my paper, if you haven't, I do have copies to give you after this presentation. You'll see my name in there a lot, which wasn't the plan. Just to put that out there. So I learned how to deal with the unexpected problems that came up and how to adapt to them. So that was really great. Stearns Inc. helped me become more confident in sharing my ideas and expressing myself professionally. And through my ELO, I gained skills that connect directly towards my future career and real world experiences. Law and writing might be a little different, but they do connect a lot. I mean, yeah. But overall, Stearns Inc. was a very valuable experience, and it allowed me to grow both personally and academically while contributing to my school and community. And it also helped me better understand the importance of collaboration. I was very bad at working with others, which is kind of why I challenged myself to do this, but it's a little different now. But that is all I have written. I do have copies of my letter for you, and I will take the questions. That's the pass it to Andrew says. If there are any. If there's not, that's as soon as I do, they go.
That's a lot, Tina.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Our teacher moment.
Ugh,
Guys?
thank you.
There you go. We want to read the notifications of hiring.
Okay, forgive me if I murder some names. I know I'm going to, so. Notification of hires, Karen Roulette will start as an Ed Tech 1 on June 1st at step 3, 1881 an hour per hour. She will complete her year of probation in the 26-27 school year. Summer food services employees, June 22nd, August 21st, Monday through Friday, 7 o'clock to 11/12. Mia Charette, manager, $25 an hour. Jessica Freeman, leader, $20 an hour. Assistants, $18 an hour. John Bushard, Mark Lyons, Donna Siemens, and Liliana Worms, substitute, $16 an hour. Summer school employees, June 22nd, July 16th, 4 days per week, 4 hours per day. Daniel McNally, director, $33 an hour. Teachers, $28 an hour. Victoria Campbell, Sean McGibbon, Mercedes Perzowoski. Excuse me, whoever you are. Daniel Wade, Ed Tex, $22.75 an hour. Hillary Sears, Shelley Farrington, Kevin Giverson, and David Jamo. Summer custodial staff, $17 an hour. Sandra Brooker, Roger DeMello, Jack Federico, Heather Gersha, Christy Hayes, Matthew Waite, Amanda Walsh, and Kayla Welch.
Thank you, Kevin. Motion to see if the board will approve the superintendent's nomination and authorize superintendent to hire a fifth grade teacher.
Like, you want to do it?
Yeah, I move to approve the superintendent's nomination of Sean McGibbon and authorize the superintendent to hire him as a fifth grade teacher at step 0, salary to be determined upon completion of negotiations with the Millinocket School Association.
I'll second it.
Any comment?
Just that I've known Sean since he was a young man in school, probably third, fourth grade, and he's an excellent young man, and I think he will be a great choice in our system.
He's been around subbing for a long time, has a lot of relationships already been developed, really excited.
Very nice. young
And
man.
I'll echo that too, that
Yeah,
he's very heavily involved with the church and
you all see, just excellent young man.
Yeah. All in favor? Overall? If the board will approve the transfer of funds between cost centers for 2025-26 school budget.
I move to authorize that that for the fiscal year 2026 through 2026, the school board delegates superintendent to its authority under 20-AMRSA subsection 1485, parentheses 4, to transfer of funds, amounts not exceeding 5% of the total appropriation for any cost center from any cost center to another cost center, or among other costs at her discretion. Note, at this time, balances for the fiscal year 25-26, cost centers do not require transfer of funds from cost centers to cost centers.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
I would just note that this is a standard annual request, giving the authority for the business manager to do this. And also note that at this time, there isn't any that we need. We're almost done.
All in favor? 4. If the board wants to hold a meeting in July,
I'd like to make a motion to not hold the regular school board meeting on Tuesday, July 14th, 2026.
Second.
any discussion?
If something comes up, what we call a special meeting
Yeah.
or,
All in
And
favor?
I
Oh,
think
sorry.
that that's the practice of Millinocket, to not do the July one, so this is just a formality. But yeah, if there's any business to be done, we'll just call a meeting.
All in favor? 4. See if the board will approve the first reading of the policies.
I'd like a motion to approve the first reading of the following policies. New policies, DCA point of sale card reader use, revised policies, BEDBH, comment at board meetings, DJB, purchase orders, IHBG, homeschooling, JICJ, student use of cell phones and other electronic devices, KDB, public's right to know / freedom of access.
Any discussion?
So the policy committee met recently and went over these policies. We're continuing to find that some of the policies really haven't been addressed for years and years and years. So the typical process of getting in the MSMA's recommendations or the required legal language is all being put into the policies that we're revising. The new one here for the point of sale We now have a card reader, like, because a lot of people don't carry cash anymore, something for fundraising, used it for the marathon. But this policy is necessary per audit, if we're going to use an account like that. And again, we got our language 100% standard from MSNA.
Are there any big changes in the revised ones?
Um,
On the,
I would
go ahead.
I was gonna say the cell phone policy is a new policy. Well, it's not new because we had it before, but there would be, I would call, there is, you're calling it big, there's the bell to bell required by the new law. So we had to bring our policy, up to the requirements of the bell to bell. The other ones are not, the freedom of access is actually, there was not a lot changed there other than on the rate. Because it hadn't been addressed since like 2009, 7, a long time, so the rate was different. And, again, we got that from MSNA.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor? Overall. Student representative reports. Molly Anderson.
Mrs. Lauren Moscone received a grant of $1,000 for bow and arrows from the Courageous Steps project. Part of the grant was for students to tour the Coal Land Transportation Museum. While they were there, they talked and listened to veterans about their stories. The high school softball team had their senior game on May 22nd, and the high school baseball team had their senior game on May 25th.
Thank you, Molly. Facilities not here. Business manager, Ron Casey. Oh, she is. I know.
Okay, quick budget update. We're at near the end of our fiscal year. We have 2 more pay cycles, which is June. We just actually did June. To pay for the accounts payable and for the payroll. Of course, our always invoices are coming late through the summer, so we usually go through those about September, October before the invoices are paid for FY 26. Expended so far, we've spent $6,966,755.58, which equates to 79.49% used, leaving a balance of $1,809,299.11. And that'll just process our last 2 bills for the end of the fiscal year, including any payroll salaries and approval for salaries into the next fiscal year. Other updates, Maine Associated Business Officials, Maine ASBO is hosting several training sessions this summer for business managers. I've signed up to attend the July 23rd session. Topics are essential program services, changes from LD 2226, account coding, main care, early childhood special education, ECS funding, which is the grant that Kim has been working on, and Jean, yeah, you. End of the year. Let's see, education service centers and school closure cost analysis. Maine PERS, I received an email from Maine PERS notifying employers that employees eligible for Maine paid family medical leave benefits that our payments are considered earnable compensation. And if they receive payments through a different avenue other than our payroll, they will receive a bill from Maine PERS to pay their contribution pieces of it. They're also working on a new form, personal status form, to update to include Maine paid medical leave. And the open enrollment period for health insurance has closed already. And that's it. Any questions?
Thank you. Special Service Director, Dr. Daniel Arthur.
All right. It has been super busy, so I'm glad that Sue is here because she's part of the whole first section of the report. So this year will be the only year, thank goodness, that we have to have transition meetings for both pre-K and kindergarten all in the same year. So that's 13 meetings that we've had to have. And Monday is the last day that we're having pre-K meetings, which there's 5 that one day. And we get out of school Thursday afternoon, which means paperwork has to be all submitted, so they have IEPs the first day of school. So when I say that, like, I have Alyssa, Sue, and Michelle in here thanking them because Sue has to do the minutes, write those. I have to review them. Michelle has to process them. And so and that's on top of just all the other meetings that we're having. So it's a lot, but it's exciting, as we're getting all of them in. And I know, like, having students come from the area, and it's also great when you look at the incoming, even whether they're pre-K incoming or kindergarten incoming, that hearing CDS say that our pre-K programs have the services that they may not have to go to Kids Feast, but they can then transition into us. And so that's been really great, being able to see that we can transition them right in, and hearing CDS saying, knowing that the services they'll receive here in pre-K, that they don't feel that they have to have a Kids Piece placement. So that is really, really good to hear. And then 2-year-olds that are transitioning to 3, I'll be starting to go to those meetings, and I believe some of the placements can be in area places as soon as they get stars, and Sue will then be working and coordinating with all of them to beginning that next school year, but we'll start that process this upcoming one. So it's a lot to do it, but it's exciting at the same time. So with that, our monitoring, last time I had said that we went through, did all of it. We got our pre-findings, and the pre-findings, it did end up being that we just didn't say the word autism in one section. And so we just amended it, added the word autism, and then ended up being fine with that. So that will not be on our plan. And the plan should be by the next board meeting, whatever that date is in the report, we'll know what our findings are. So part of that is I'm really waiting for that tier to find out if we're on tier 1, we won't be monitored again for 6 years. And part of that is the main state alternate assessment, which I had written about before. Sue and Anthony, who's on Zoom, they're the ones that have to do that. If they do not meet their guidelines, their deadlines, all students don't meet their deadlines, all of that, which is a lot of work, that goes against us with what tier will be placed on. So it isn't just this monitoring, it's also the work that they're doing on that comes into what prong you're on. So they met it 100%. Anthony's transition plans were 100%. So they've done so much work at that. So it's like kudos to the staff here. I can't say enough about that. So that's all I have. Any questions on any of that?
I just think it's real. We have one transition from Kids Piece to Granite Street. That's great. That's saving the district $35,000 or whatever. So that's a huge, if we could do more of that, it'll make it better for the.
And the other one that was transitioning was actually waiting for a Kids Piece placement, but because they knew that they were coming into us, and they've had great services this year where they were waiting for Kids Piece. Because of that, the services that they were getting in a great daycare setting, because of that, then they didn't have to now go to Kids Piece. So they took them off the wait list and said they could transition right in. So we're really attempting to get all of those early intervening services. So then that way they can transition right into us and have the same supports that they need to have.
Keep up the good work.
It's all of them.
Food service coordinator, Mia Charette.
I came in our new attire. And like, yes, next year we'll be wearing uniforms. So as you know, we've been putting in a lot of training time, really trying to invest in our staff and create a staff that has a strong skill set. So this is just an additional piece to kind of making sure that they feel like school nutrition professionals, and they look like school nutrition professionals. So really excited. We have our new logo. So I just figured I'd show it off, you know.
Banner white. Yeah.
It's actually my main famous white.
Okay. So is it my wife's.
In the month of May, we served 5,554 breakfasts and 6,128 lunches. We have a new ELO addition to our program. Miss Abby Giles is with us, at least through the end of the school year, in hopes of bringing her back to us in the fall. Just a matter of figuring out schedule. But it's nice to have another young face, and she has great energy. And Elijah has been doing a wonderful job. So it's really exciting that our school kitchen can also be a place for learning. Staff at both schools have been riding the end of year roller coaster. I know everybody that works at the school is familiar with said roller coaster, and I just wanted to give them a shout out and thank them for just taking everything as it comes. They're incredibly flexible, and they really do just put the students first always. So just a thank you to my staff for that. The Elks reached out to us again this year and are providing ice cream treats for the high school. They had theirs on the seniors last day to celebrate their seniors. And Granite Street will have theirs next week on pre-K's last day, so celebrate our pre-K's. Our Sun Meals application has been submitted and approved, so we're all set to operate Sun Meals starting the 22nd of June, when our staff are joining. And over the summer, myself, Elise Kerr, the new kitchen manager, and John Bouchard will all be attending the culinary skills for school meals training, which will be in Hampton, so it's a week-long intensive, so just moving ahead. Any questions? No?
Thank you, ma'am. Stearns Junior Senior High School Principal, Beth Peavy.
Hello. So as you can tell by my report, I'm really excited to tell everyone about all of the great things that are happening within the school and within the classrooms. The ELO program is awesome. Our kids are really enjoying that, but on a day-to-day level, some of the things that happen here, I just wanted to make sure that you all heard some of that. I won't read the whole thing. I wrote a really long report this time because there are great things happening at all levels and in all grades, but something I wanted to highlight is Mr. Leathers, his 7th grade, visited the Maine State Museum in the State House in Augusta as part of a celebration for participating in the My Maine Museum program. So Stearns was one of only 5 schools in the state chosen to be a part of this program after an application process last spring. So each student submitted a picture and a caption of a person, place, or object that was important to them to have displayed in the museum. So they're able to go to the museum, see their pictures displayed, and also anyone else visiting the museum in the future will be able to see them as well. So that's pretty exciting. Mrs. Averill offered an extra credit scavenger hunt for her students in her government classes. So they actually had to go from place to place. You participated in this too, right?
I think all but one token.
You got all but one token. So it was not an easy challenge, right? It took time, it took planning. They had to attend a school board meeting. They had to attend a town council meeting. What else did you have to attend? Was it just those 2 meetings?
For events, and then we had to go to different places throughout town.
Find the different places throughout the town to find tokens to earn the extra credit. So she was very impressed with the students who continued to push through and got most or all of it done. Mrs. Millinocket is with our 8th grade students. They're wrapping up a Holocaust unit that included reading the play, The Diary of Anne Frank. And as part of that unit, the students had the opportunity to compare the ending of the play, the last entry of Anne Frank's diary, and a video from the Holocaust Museum about what happened to Anne Frank after the arrest. And this also coincided with us having the Anne Frank exhibit here at school. So that went really well. Mr. Brown's class. So his students used multimedia to reproduce a scene from Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. It was a lot of fun. I went in and watched them present some of their videos. One group used sock puppets, but it had to be similar language, but it also had to relate to what they were doing with their scene. So they talked about being stuck together in a dryer or being repelled, and it was really funny. And another one did like a modern day, well, they called it like a modern redneck version of it. So it was really creative, really interesting, but you could also see how well they had connected it to Romeo and Juliet. So it worked. His words and experience are wrapping up their final individual cooking items and writing about them. But the best one, I think, is in his honors English 4 class. They were making their push to their final. And the seniors had one last chance to spin the wheel. So for those of you that don't know, Mr. Brown has a big wheel like Wheel of Fortune or something that he puts different things on each thing. And sometimes that's their writing prompt for the day. They'll spin the wheel, see what it lands on, and follow that. So he uses that usually as a bell ringer in his writing class activities. So he labeled 11 spots final, and then he labeled 1 spot dance party final. And he said, there's no way they'll get that. And that's what they got. So they landed on the dance party final, which was great because he also still connected it to a writing final because that's Mr. Brown. But so it was I think he said it was like a 8% chance or something that they'd land on that. And so the young man who spun the wheel was the hero, that they got their dance party. So he said that Mr. Waite outfitted his room with a sweet Bluetooth speaker. Mr. Brown rated the student council room for a light show. And we rocked out 4 songs before turning to some slower jams while the students worked on their last writing piece for me. We ended the class like so many weddings and social gatherings with the band The Killers. Even Mrs. McGlowan, Mrs. Averill, Mrs. Phoebe joined us. What a hoot. So they had a really, really great time. And I brought these in for you so you could see it. This is what he handed out to his seniors. It's their dance party invitation. But if you look on the second page, that's his actual letter to his seniors and what he wanted them to do with their final. And Aria Morrow, who I told you at our last meeting, who won the Maine Water Environment Association Clean Water Week poster contest. So this was the 2nd year in a row that a student from Stearns has won 1st place for grades 7 and 8 in the state. And she received her check last week and I was able to present her with a check for $100. So she was really happy. And then the last thing that I want to mention, other than I do have a list of all of the senior activities this week, which is super busy. I was in the auditorium with them today while they practiced marching in for class day. That's always fun to watch. But the other thing that I wanted to mention is the SAY program. So SAY stands for Substance Affected Youth. And this is through True Connections. And we are pleased to announce that we are having the SAY program. We'll be working through our school starting Friday, which they did. And this program is brought by True Connections. So there will be a group for middle school and a group for high school students to meet during the school day. And this was offered on a voluntary basis, once per week for students who sign up. And they do plan to continue to meet over the course of the summer and then into the next school year. So Julie, the coordinator, is a family psychiatric nurse practitioner. And Kara will be facilitating the groups, and she is a certified alcohol and drug counselor and a case manager for adults and children. And then for anyone who does not wish for their child to participate in this program, we've asked them to call the school to let us know, but what say is substance affected youth, it is for any student who has been affected, their lives have been touched in any way, shape, or form by substance abuse. So this doesn't have to be someone from their family. It could be someone in their friend group. It could be someone's one of their friends' family. It could be, so there are students there who go to support people who are also affected, and they are, you know, they're champions and go with them to help support them. And they're learning different ways of coping, different strategies, healthy ways to get through some pretty challenging times. So I feel that this program is very important to our students. And we did have some really good participation on Friday, and this will run through the next school year every Friday as well. We're making time in the schedule for those that decide that they want to go. Does anyone have any questions?
Thank you, Beth.
Thank you.
Report.
All right, there's been so many wonderful things, and in the spirit of time, knowing that, we've had the honor thank to get through, I will, go through a few of my things, but some of these things I've either written about or will catch next time. I guess, Beth and I had a conversation with, Heather Versa, who's been working on curriculum, for Stearns. And how time does fly, because she was saying next year would be her 4th year. But I just thought you might like to know that some of the topics that they've been really looking at are testing culture. 4 years ago, we had a lot of our students who didn't take the testing. And now almost everybody does. They've had a lot of conversation about shared vision, looking at data, comparing data between fall and spring, which is the only way we're going to make improvements, right? Looking at student engagement. And another part that was kind of interesting is she asked the staff to rank in order of importance the things that they would like to address next year, and differentiating instruction, student engagement, department meetings, looking at Stearns time, and looking at data to inform instruction are all on the list. So she felt like, correct me if I'm wrong, Beth, but she felt like very accomplished, like the school group, middle school and high school here at Stearns was really moving forward and excited to be doing that. So I just thought that was noteworthy. The policy committee, I should have said it when we were talking about policy a minute ago, but a lot of new policies for the state of Maine, and a lot of new laws actually go into play in September when we come back. So anything that is new on the books, like the bell-to-bell cell policy, us and schools all across Maine will have several policies that we'll have to be looking at, laws we'll have to abide by. Buildings and Grounds also met recently. In that we're looking at the summer projects. Louis outlined that we're kind of transitioning from Stearns to Granite Street. Because we do have we're the recipient of a really wonderful grant in order to upgrade the heating, cooling, air circulation system. So we're in the process of trying to secure the bond and the loan for that. Also, Mrs. Peavy and Joanna and myself all met with Rural Aspirations recently to look at, we have received a grant with them. And it's going to highlight a lot of work towards some of the things that the teachers were talking about within differentiated instruction. It is a great opportunity we're looking at some social studies curriculum, we're looking at some pre-K things, assessments and intervention, frameworks. We have a new, fifth grade teacher, so we're gonna be able to offer some individual time for, staff. And all of this has a price tag of, $4,000 for spring and $7,000 for fall. And all of that is, gonna be provided to us through a grant. So great support for our staff in a number of ways. And this Rural Aspirations is really wonderful because if we get started down a path and we want to wiggle left or right, we're always allowed to have those conversations and work on that. I also wanted to say that Katie DeFred did a wonderful job organizing with others over to Granite Street, the monthly assemblies. I hope if you wasn't there in person that you at least got to see them online, because some of them were really, really hilarious. Student council over here at Stearns did a really great job engaging and bringing excitement to the student body. And the wellness duel was instrumental in supporting positive health for everybody and having some conversations about like a work life balance and adding contributions in that manner. We also have a meeting coming up on Thursday with the New England District Consortium, and the topics that we're going to be focusing there are a multi-tiered system of supports. We're looking to design our own prototype, looking at how PBIS and ELOs all worked together. So Millinocket school system has a lot of different programs, and with this grant, we're hoping that we can like pull it all together. Be the vehicle that aligns everything so that students receive what they need, staff receive what they need. So that's coming up this week. And that's one step, that's that big one for $500,000 if we're able to secure this. We will do some work over the summer with this, and then by fall, we would write the grant and fingers crossed, hopefully get something there. We've already talked about the bell to bell coming in. Let's see what else we've got. I wanted to mention that there's an opportunity for everybody to put on their calendars for 5:30 on Monday, June 8th. And that will be held at the Stearns Library. And so friends, family, everybody who invite them here to talk about what schools will look like, what our regional area looks like. This is East Millinocket, Medway, and Millinocket. Medway's is on the 11th, East Millinocket's is on the 18th, and ours is on the 8th. So everybody is encouraged to join that. That will be in the newspaper this week as well to give you a few more details.
What time did you say that was?
5:30. Yep. And then I'll end with one more thing. Attended a meeting today. Just a phenomenal opportunity. I don't know where it's going to lead to, but we will do our best to see. The federal government has a $50 billion with a B dollar opportunity for across the country to look at mental health and family medical supports. The state of Maine applied for a grant through this $50 billion as part of it and got 190 million with an M. As part of that, Maine specifically chose to focus on school health as part of this. So today, there were 40 people on the call, and they are choosing somewhere between 20 and 40 schools to pilot this next year. And it will be on, it'll be telehealth that's family-led and evidence-based. The company is called Cartwheel. They're 5 years old. They only work with schools, and there's no cost. It is addressing things like mental health, behavior disruptions, staff concerns. there's a whole list of things all related to schools. And it runs from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., 7 days a week. So if we have a student who would like to have a conversation, they won't have to come out of class in order to have it. They could have it at 4 when they got home, or Sunday afternoon. This program will also, talk with families. Just like our traditional programs, there'll have to be communication with families, there'll have to be, consent, all of those things are still in play. But the real, one thing that they're really marketing it on is right now, if we have a student who could use some counseling, family agrees, and we put their name out there for some counseling, a lot of times the wait is anywhere from 3 to 6 months. This program is saying it's a 95% shorter wait time for care. There's so many people involved in this program that they're guaranteeing a really quick turnaround. There are some things they don't do. They don't do things with heavy addictions for like crack or heroin, things like that, because in the world of counseling, those are better face to face than they would be by telehealth. But they do things with if they're counseling with a student who is having suicidal ideations, they'll immediately go into a crisis plan and involve the school. What they kept telling us is this is to support our school, support our communities, not to add any weight or any extra lift. It's to come along with the schools and help that. So today I wrote a letter of interest from Millinocket School Department. We don't know where it's going to land, but if we're fortunate enough to get get chosen for a pilot, then we will help them by providing data so that they can see how this will happen and how it will work in the future. So it's $190 million for Maine to be used over 5 years. And one of the questions on the call was, but what happens at the end of 5 years? Like you have Sue's thinking around, you have something wonderful happening, and then what happens? But part of their data collection is they have spent the last 18 months in Maine working to get in network, to get all of the insurance companies, Medicaid, Medicare, like all the insurance companies, private, everything, so that they can not have to bill. Like it was a very, very impressive conversation. It really was. So I wanted to end with that on a high note, because very possibly, fingers crossed, we'll be able to participate in something like this for our community, our families, our children. So fingers crossed that will happen.
Shelley, you mentioned the, I may have missed it, you talked pretty fast.
Okay.
So if a student wanted to call, do they need permission from their parents?
The normal, that's a great question, and that was asked this morning too. The normal position, consent is required for all students, just like every other
Okay.
counseling situation in Maine now.
But what if the issue is the issue at home and not? So I guess I'm wondering about that.
Yeah, but so the ways that it would be worked on now would be, counseling at school.
Mhm.
Those, we're not superseding any of those
Okay.
parental involvements. Matter of fact, part of what they're talking about is, say a student does have some concerns at home, maybe their parent has agreed for them to have counseling at school, but then they wrap it into having some counseling with the parents or guardian as well. And that's a bridge they're hoping to make, because there's just not there's not enough counselors to do that, and there's not enough time. So they're hoping that the 8 to 8, 5 days a week will allow parents to, to be able to have open conversations if they want to as well. I could tell you lots more. There's 375 school districts. There's 16 states. There's a lot. If anybody wants more information, I'll be happy to provide it.
Thank you, Dr. Lane.
You're welcome.
All right, I need a motion to enter into executive session.
I'd like to make a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to 1 MRSA section 405 6F, information and confidential record.
Thank you, everyone.
Should we vote?
How about a reminder to do too?
You should vote.
Oh.
There's no vote. You can just.
Oh, okay, and there's no outcome to
We can put that.
the executive session. All in favor? Well, I don't know.
We also, remember there's a vote next Tuesday. So our budget will be on the ballot, so.
All right, thank you, everyone.